Hi, good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Dinah's on the chat today, as you can see. And it's a very snowy Norwich. It's thick snow like that outside on the roofs. It's all very winter wonderland here.
Yeah, beautiful.
So I'm really looking forward to this Wednesday. We've got an awesome point of the week. I was just saying to Dinah, I've just spent the last half an hour reading this epic 2 pages of descriptions about just that one point because it's so awesome. And also it takes us into a deeper understanding of the wood element, and we can explore some of the features of that we all really need right now with the current coronavirus situation. So let's get straight on. We're going to start off with a full body scan. I'm going to find out how we're doing as a group, see how you're doing. And I've got some other questions we haven't visited for a while, so I'm going to check in on a few things before we start. Okay, so let's do a whole body scan first of all. If Dinah would like to just
I'm good.
Yep, just pop. See you in a minute. Yeah, so we're just going to stand up and do a whole body scan, and then I'm going to find out as a group how we're doing, and I'll just show you how that links in with the point of the week we've got this week, and also the wood element that we're exploring. So first of all, let's just stand or sit. It's up to you. You can just stand or sit, and we're just going to center ourselves. And we're going to go scanning down using our attention right the way through the body. It's wonderful to see so many people on the chat, by the way, lots of familiar names there. But let's just focus in on our actual energy now. I'm going to do it with you. So I'm going to just close my eyes for a moment, and we're going to scan down from the top of our body down, through the top of our head, through the eyes, jaw, throat. Okay, we're just turning our awareness inwards just to see how we're feeling. We're going to go down through the chest, upper chest here, and the upper back. And then we're going to go down our arms. And then we're going to go down through the whole chest, down into the diaphragm. So we're tuning into this whole area here. And then down through the diaphragm, through the abdomen. Okay, through the hips, down towards the feet. Okay, now I'm going to ask myself, what's it like? What's my energy like? And I'm going to take my pad and I'm just going to do a quick sketch of my whole body energy. And because it's going to be really interesting, isn't it, to compare that after the hour's over, we can see how much change we've made to our whole energy pattern. So just first of all, look out for any areas that might be feeling blocked or weak. You can draw a picture. It doesn't have to look like anything. It can be very abstract if you like, but just convey how you're feeling. Okay, if you're interested, that's what my one looks like. I definitely need this Wednesday class this week, I can tell you. I'm really looking forward to it. Okay, so now just thinking about how you're feeling right now. Are you feeling generally balanced and okay? Are you feeling a bit obstructed or blocked? Are you feeling a little bit tired maybe? Or maybe a bit hot, a bit over hot, or a bit cold? Because this is a really important question to find out how you're doing as a general group. So let's find out what best describes your scan. I'm going to run the poll now, and if you don't mind voting for us, we'll see how you are. So are you feeling generally would you say you're well and balanced, blocked or obstructed, weak or tired, hot or agitated, cold or frozen? It's really important information because what we've noticed in the last few weeks is that there's been a little bit of a reduction in those of you who feel well and balanced. Last week, it went down to 12%. We were a little bit worried about you out there as a group. But look, we're back up to over 20% well and balanced. So you must be doing your exercises out there. That's great. Now, also, we've noticed that the obstruction and the weakened tiredness is, again, the main things that we're feeling. Quite a few of you are 10% hot or agitated, and there's going to be some really good points for you today. And if you're feeling a bit blocked and frozen, again, we're going to find some techniques to help you kind of warm up and start moving. Okay, that's really excellent. So, okay, here's something we haven't done for a few weeks, and this is really important. And I'm going to get you to do this, and we're going to run a poll, find out how you are. We're going to check our breathing. Okay, so no cheating. Okay, we're not going to actually force our breath anywhere. We're going to do as neutral, natural in-breath as we can, and just check out and see where that breath goes. Are you ready? Okay, so sitting or standing, just relaxing. Okay. Just take a moment to center yourself. Okay, now take a natural breath in, but just make it a little bit bigger than normal. Okay, I'm going to do it with you. Okay, and now hold your breath and just see where is the lowest part of your body that breath goes to, and then breathe out. Okay, do you want to do it one more time? A normal, natural in-breath without forcing it or directing it. Where does it naturally go to? Okay, so I'd really like to know about that. Whereabouts does your breath go? In fact, where is the lowest part of the breath? Where does it go? Okay, and the options are upper lungs. Is it here? Is it here? Is it here? Just down into the upper abdomen, or does it go right down into the lower abdomen? And we'll just check in with that. We haven't done that for a few weeks now, and it's really important. Okay, now look, this is really good evidence that these Wednesday classes are really making a difference, not just to when you're just directing your breath, but they're making a significant difference to how you're regulating your breath every day. Because look at this, we've got a really big percentage, 40, 50, 70% of you, either it's getting into the upper abdomen or the lower abdomen. And that's much, much higher than it was a couple of months ago. And that's really, really excellent. Okay, I'm going to ask you one other question, and this is a straight question. I just want you to think about your emotional state right now, and just let us know which one of these emotions do you feel most often. And the reason I'm asking you that is because the wood element, which we're doing right now, is all to do with how our emotions flow. Okay, so just have a look at this list. Which of these emotions do you feel kind of mania, worry, sadness, fear, or anger? Okay, which is the emotion that you're feeling the most right now? And we can link this in with when we do the burners. Okay, so let's have a look. Okay, now this is again very interesting. We can see if you know anything about the 5 elements, which we're working our way through. You'll know that the worry is associated with the earth element. Sadness is associated with the lungs. And there's a lot of that. There's a lot more sadness around now than there was 6 months ago, and quite a lot more worry here. So we're going to work with that directly using the burners. Thank you very much for sharing that. That's really useful information for us to design the session for you, for the group. Okay, so now let's spend a couple of minutes tuning into our burners, which we like to do pretty much every week. Find out where we're going to focus the session today. Okay, we already know that we've got to work with the earth element and the metal element there, but we'll talk a little bit about, we'll experience and explore how the point of the week fits in with the emotions and everything later on. Okay, so let's just take a moment. So we've got your piece of paper, divide it into 3 zones. That's going to be the 3 zones of the 3 burners. If you remember, that's this slide here. Yep, that's this one. Okay, so you just make 3 areas, and let's just close our eyes, and we're going to zone in. We're going to tune in with our attention into the lower burner, which is this area right here, below the navel. Just come up a bit, just around here. Okay, So we're just going to close our eyes, bring our attention down into that lower burner. Okay, and ask yourself, what is it like? Okay, and I'm going to draw mine in here now, into my lower box here. Just going to write a few words and draw it in here. And if you've been coming regularly, I know a lot of you have been coming regularly every week. It's really important to kind of tune in regularly and find out how we're doing, isn't it? Okay. Very great news about the breathing there. Well done, everyone. Okay. And even if you were a little bit high, I'm sure by the end of this session, we're going to check the breathing again and we'll feel it much lower. As a group, you're doing absolutely awesome with the breathing. I'm really, really impressed. Okay. So here we go. Middle burner, this area here. Okay, tuning in. So tuning internally here into this area here. What's it like? Okay, and we're going to draw that in. Okay, and then finally, we're going to go for the upper burner, which is this lung area here and includes the heart and the upper thoracic spine. So just take a moment. We're just going to close our eyes. Okay, we're going to tune in to that upper burner. And what is that like? You got it? Okay, so we're going to put that into the top box here. And again, thinking back to the last few weeks, just compare to see how you are. Right. Okay, well, I know which burner I'd like to work on today, and I'm sure you do by now. So let's run the poll and see if there's any surprises this week. Okay, in England, we're well into the third lockdown, and we'll see which burners you're going to choose as a group to work on this morning. Okay, so which burner would you like to work on most today? And let's see what happens. Remember about 3 weeks ago, we had a massive move towards the middle burner. I think there's a lot of anger around, possibly because of the way things were going. But look at this. It's a clear return to the upper burner. And that links directly in, by the way, to those of you who put sadness as one of your main things. Because sadness is related to the lungs and that's related to the upper burner. And those of you feeling a bit manic, a bit maniac, that's also the upper burner. Okay, and look at that. That's a massive swing towards the upper burner. And also look at the lower burner, which has now crept up to 25%. That's gone up from about 15 to 25%. And that indicates like longer term fatigue. So we've got to make sure every week that we look after the lower burner because that's the root of the whole system. Okay. The middle burner, that's related to the worrying and also to the wood element. So we've got to make sure we free that up as well. Okay, thank you very much for that. Another real surprise in the saga of the Wednesday classes. So let's get straight into the exercises. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to introduce you to point of the week later on. Really excited about that. But we'll start off with looking after lower burner, especially as it's creeping up in the poles. And it's the foundation of all the other burners. So we really need to make sure that that's looked after. Okay, so this is going to become easier and easier for you. You can see that by the polls and by how many of you are already naturally now breathing much lower in the body. And as we've explored before, that's really, really important to regulate our nervous system. Okay, so let's just check in and we're just going to even make it even better. Those of you who are still breathing a little bit high, it's now your turn to join the majority of the group and get your breathing nice and low. So let's first of all stand, feet shoulder width apart. We're going to open up the toes. I'm wiggling my toes about like this. And this links in with the point of the week, as I will share with you later on. Okay, we want to get the breathing down to here. To do that, we need to get those feet really firmly on the ground. So let's just relax our shoulders, and we're going to do a bit of shaking first of all to get any tension in the upper body shaking down to the foot, because if we're doing this, it's going to tend to bring our breath up. So we're going to start off with a whole body shake this week. We're using the spine, we've got our head floating up, and just imagine that all your limbs and joints are just opening up and releasing away from your spine. So get that spine established, the spine here established, and we're shaking out this way. What we're trying to do is shake ourselves down so we get our attention down into our feet. So if you notice, if you've got anywhere with your body scan picture, you've got anywhere that's holding or obstructing, you want to focus the shaking on that one area. Just get that feeling of connection all the way down, lower in the body, into the feet. Okay, and then down the legs. Okay, excellent. Okay. So now since we can feel our feet on the ground, okay, let's just feel our feet there. Relax the hips. Okay, can you feel that sensation going all the way down, your awareness down into the feet? Once you've done that, then it's time to rub our hands together. Okay, and now we're just going to see if we can get our breathing down to the lower dantian. The way we do that is we hold our hands here, just below the navel. So we've got the navel here, and it's just about an inch below the navel. Some very important points there. We hold it there, and then we relax our shoulders. Okay. And feel the breath coming in. Imagine the breath coming in down into the lower burner. Okay, and what you should feel is this air expands slightly, and as you breathe out, it kind of goes in, and you imagine that there's energy coming in with the breath, and it's centering itself around this area here. Okay, so let's just do a few breaths. Keep shoulders relaxed, head floating up, awareness on the ground, breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Okay, very good. So now what we're going to do is we're going to just rub that point, just very light touch, very light touch, and just in small circles, we're just energizing this lower dantian area here. Okay, and as we're doing that, we're keeping our feet rooted into the ground. Keeping the shoulders relaxed, floating the head up. And the idea is we're going to get energy from the hands all the way through, combining with the breath that we're bringing down here and filling up this whole area here. Okay, let's do it. Yeah, keep those hips relaxed, keep that feeling connection with the earth. Very good. Okay, now if you have got enough flexibility in your shoulders, we can bring the hands round, stimulate this point, bladder 23. If you've got stiffness or pain in the shoulders, then just keep doing this and zap the energy through into the lower back. Okay, so it's your choice, but whichever you do, let's just try and get this whole area as energized as we can. Very good. Okay, so now why don't we do a bit more work on the actual channels. We're going to do some doing on the kidney channel. Remember, did that from the water element. We're going to get that energy going up the legs into the lower back, and then we're going to connect it down the back of the legs. So rubbing your hands together again, just going to relax forward and pick up the point just behind the ankles. That's kidney 3. And we're going to go up the inside of the legs, behind the knees here, around kidney 10, and then up. Go up here onto the lower burner, and we go round right into the buttocks here, right into the back of the hips, underneath here, and then down. Remember this whole support point here, bladder 36. Go down the back of the legs until we get to Kunlun Mountain. Remember that point just behind the back of the ankles here. Imagine you've got those mighty rivers flowing up here, and you've got the gushing spring from the kidney coming up and filling up this whole lower abdomen with water. That's the image, okay? So let's go again. Kidney 3, great stream, a lovely big stream of lovely water coming from the earth, coming up the channel into the lower burner, and then round, and opening up the channel at the back, allowing again the water to come up from the mountains at the heel here into the lower back. Okay, here we go. We've got to get that water element nice and strong here. Just imagine it flowing up to here, and opening the channels down the backs of the legs, connecting with the ankles. Okay, very good. Okay, so a little bit more of a shake. And let's check into that lower burner. You should feel a nice open, warm feeling now in the lower burner. And I'll tell you what it does for me. It makes me feel I really want to work on these upper burners here now, because this lower burner feels really, really nice. Okay, now, it's really sad to see that so many of us have got a lot of worry going on at the moment. And so we're going to address that with the stomach and spleen channel with the middle burner. So let's do that first, because I think that's a really important one. Worry tends to affect the stomach and spleen. Here's a few hints. Don't read the newspaper when you're eating food. Try and eat your food in a nice, calm, stress-free atmosphere. Make sure you chew your food well and become very mindful of what you're eating. That's a really good way of starting to unwind that cycle of worry there. And the other thing we want to do is we want to calm the middle burner, because anxiety, and this is a polyvagal thing as well, a nervous system thing, tends to go into the abdominal organs, and particularly the stomach. So if we relax the stomach area, it's going to send a message to our brain that we don't need to worry about anything. So let's do that right now. I'm going to show you a spleen and stomach Ampu-Type technique. What we're going to do actually is we're going to move our hand to the middle area. This is the spleen area in Shiatsu diagnosis, and it's in the center of the abdomen. And what we can do here is we can do this. Okay, we're not doing this one. This is the lower dantian. We're right around the navel. And this is the earth element. This is the one you want to really relax to dissolve that worry. Okay, so as we're doing this, we're just relaxing, and we're just being mindful of relaxing and releasing the internal organs. Okay. And now what we can do is we can go wider through the intestines, but as we come over here, when we come over the stomach area, what we're doing is we're just easing any tension or feelings of discomfort here from the stomach. Okay, so go round, this is the liver, it's round, and then just nice and easily relaxing here. Keeping the arms really relaxed, and we're just allowing that area to relax. If you feel any tension or discomfort in this area here around the navel, that's a really good idea to release. And again, if you feel any sort of stress or discomfort here, The combination of doing this and then going around like this really helps to relax those internal organs. As you do that, that will send a message to your brain that you're safe and that you don't need to worry. Okay? There's also hormonal reasons as well that happens with the stomach. When you've had a really good meal and you feel satisfied, it sends signals out to your body that tell it that you're safe because you don't need to kill any more animals, or for us it's like go to the supermarket or shop online. But when we were back in evolutionary days, when we had a full stomach and we felt relaxed, that was a feeling of safety. And it's really a good idea to get that digestion worked out, eating in a stress-free environment, really enjoy and relax and eat your food in a calm place. And that every day, if you do that 3 times a day, that's going to send messages to your brain telling you that it's safe. And that's a really, really good way to start, a really simple and really good way to start unpacking that whole worry thing, okay? So that's a real simple thing. So we've now got the abdomen worked, and so now it's time for the channels. So if you remember, the stomach and spleen channels run on the front of the body. And what we're going to do is we're going to use those channels again to release this area here, the middle burner. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to be mindful here. We're going to keep our attention here as we go down the channels, which start here on the edges of the abdomen. So we just, there's some very important acupuncture points all around here that are used to regulate the digestion. So just by tapping lightly on the outside of the abdomen, you'll start to connect that channel up with the digestive system here. Okay, then we get to the legs. We're going to go down, first of all, down the outside of the legs. This is the stomach channel. This is, in Chinese medicine, related directly to worrying. So let's just see if we can squeeze all that worry out, down our feet and out. Okay, so let's just tap down. What I'm doing now is I'm very carefully going down and finding places on that channel that I can feel relaxing here. I've got one right here. I'm going to just spend a little bit more time on this one. I'm going to go down again. Not much happening here. And then here again, I can feel this relaxing. And this way, you're making it more sophisticated. You're making your going more focused on exactly this, what we call subos in Shiatsu. That's like acupuncture points that have a particular effect on the channel. So we're getting a little bit sophisticated now. Okay, go down here. This is an important stomach point just above the knee. And we go down below the knee onto stomach 36, the famous 3-mile point. Very, very good for the digestion and for anxiety. So let's just give that a really good work out. And then down towards the feet. And up the inside of the legs. Very good. Okay, any special points you found here? Got a few around here. One here. I can feel that relaxing this area in here. Excellent. Okay, let's go down, checking out the points again. What have we got here? Yeah, got a few points here. There's one here. Second and third time you work the channel, you'll probably find that the active areas that work will move. You'll find new ones as the channel starts balancing out. So each time we do it, we've got to be a little bit aware, a little bit mindful of where the best places are and focusing on them. Okay, this is the third time, third and last time for the stomach and spleen, so let's make the most of it. Tuning into here. Whoa. Yeah. And then up. Okay, wow, okay, that was a pretty good workout for the stomach and spleen. Okay, so let's just brush off 3 times. Okay, let's check in again, standing. A few deep breaths. Does that help? We've released this quite a bit, so the breath's going much lower. Certainly I can feel that. Keeping it nice and relaxed. Okay, excellent. So now it's time to move on to the wood element, the element of the season that we're doing now, and it's going to be incorporated the point of the week. So watch out for that. It's coming up very, very soon. The liver in Chinese medicine is really important because it helps smooth all the emotions and all the energy in the body. So if you get stuck in any emotion like worry or fear or sadness, the liver will help you smooth that emotion and let it flow around the body. And that's the kind of theme of it, is everything flowing around. Okay, we need plenty of that right now. So let's start off by our famous twisting exercise. This is important because it twists the whole side of the body. So we're opening up the side of the body. That's where the liver and gallbladder channels run. Okay, so let's do it. Thread holding us up, sacrum hanging down. So we've got this feeling here. Yeah, feet nice and solid on the floor, and we're twisting like this. Keeping our eyes open and looking as we turn. Just get that nicely opened out. That's it. Very good. Keep the legs planted on the ground and feel that twist, focusing on the middle burner here. So keep the shoulders relaxed. Just let those arms just naturally move as you turn your head, looking left and right. Relaxing the hips. That's it. Okay, excellent, well done. So now it's time to work on our feet, and that's where point of the week is, okay? So let's just, I'll just adjust my camera so you can see where I'm working down here on the futon. Okay, let me get up the slide. I'll show you exactly where it is. Here's one I prepared earlier. So we're in the wood element now, and we're here. We're at week 12 of the 50-week cycle, and we've just been discussing the main wood qualities, and we're going to work on liver 3. And here it is, liver 3, great rushing. Okay, so let's get our socks off and get on with this straight away. Okay, liver 3 is a really, really important point. I'll show you exactly where it is, and then we'll go back to the slide, and we can talk about it as we work it. Okay, it's right here between the second and third metatarsals. That's a posh word for bones in the foot, between the second and third bones in the foot here. And it's just as you go up and you just feel like an indentation in there, that's where it is, right in there. Okay, now what you'll find is if you get frustrated and you get angry, maybe, or even if you're just worrying a lot, got a lot of strong emotion, you'll find that these two bones get very stiff, and working those helps free up liver 3. So let's just work that point. And if you remember last week, we introduced the liver channel with liver 1, which is right here, this point here, right by the nail. So we're going to be working up here into this part of the foot. Okay, and as we're doing that, I'll just put the slide back up and we can just discuss just how awesome it is. Okay, now as I said, look at this book. This is Peter Devlin's book. He's got actually like all this print. He's got like 2 whole pages just about this one point. It's called Great Rushing, and the image is basically the energy rushing up through the body, smoothing out, nourishing and smoothing out the whole body, particularly the tendons, keeping all the joints moving and everything. Okay, so if you can imagine as you're working this, you're starting the flow of liver energy right up the body. What it does is it spreads the liver qi. What does that mean? Well, what it means is it just makes everything flow in the body, so that anything gets stuck. It could be structural things, or it could be emotions. Anything gets stuck in the body, it spreads that through. It nourishes the liver blood and the liver yin. That's the cooling and the nourishing aspects of the liver. And what that does is it nourishes the tendons. It makes sure all the joints can move around freely and smoothly. Okay. And as a result, it's used for all kinds of different problems all the way up the body. Anything on the side, anything to do with the joints. It's used for headaches, anything to do in the sides of the body, tendon pain. And it's also particularly used for treating anger and frustration, okay? And there's a little bit of that about, even though most of it is at the moment in the group is sadness and worry, which we've already started to address. Okay, so that's liver 3. I'll just show you again where it is. So you just slide your finger up here, and just before you get to the actual joint, which is here, it's not as high as that, you'll feel a joint there, it's in that indentation. Okay, and yeah, the picture I've got here is exactly the same picture as I had on the slide, which I found on the internet, Peter. Well, I didn't take it from your book. It's just right there in that indentation. On a spiritual level as well, the liver blood actually houses the ethereal soul. What that means is it gives you a feeling of being nourished and a feeling of being on the right path that you have through your life. And I know that's something that's been very challenged by the whole coronavirus thing. So keeping the liver blood nice and keeping the liver yin nice and cool and keeping the liver energy moving is really important for that spiritual feeling of being able to feel kind of like you're doing the right thing in your life, which is important, obviously, for lots of emotional states. Okay, so I think my left foot's been done enough. So let's get my right foot out here and work liver 3 again. I'm putting a little bit of kidney 1 in there. Always good to get kidney 1 in. That's this point right in the middle of the foot there. But I'm basically working here from this toe through into kidney liver 3, the great rushing. There we are. I have to say, I looked up on the internet to find a nice picture of liver 3, and there are some shocking ones out there. I mean, sometimes you'll see it right here, right by the toe. Sometimes you'll see it way too high up here. It's actually right in that indentation. And that picture that I showed you on the slides, I'll just show it to you one more time, is actually the most accurate one I could find. It's right between these bones here in that sort of indentation there. Okay, liver 3, Tai Chong, great rushing. Okay, now what should happen is if we do this nice and thoroughly, when we stand up again, we're going to feel so much more chilled out because that liver great rushing energy is going to be coming up, letting us release our emotions, freeing up from any stuck emotions, and just generally making us feel more flexible. Okay, so really important. Okay, let's see. Just going to pop the camera down. That's it. Okay, now let's see what it's like to stand up now. Very different. Now, if you bring your attention into your first and second toes and feel how they're gripping the ground a lot more, can you feel that? And also, if you really relax and get that sensation from liver 3 and allow that sensation to go up your body, it gives it a kind of combination of calmness, but also a kind of flexibility, a solidity, calmness, flexibility. And that's because it nourishes the liver blood and the liver yin and also moves the liver qi. So it's a freeing up point, but also a kind of calming point that helps us emotionally and mentally. Okay, so it's super important. So let's give it a little bit of a hand by opening up the channels from the liver meridian and the gallbladder channel into the middle burner, and then we can get on to the upper burner. So if you can feel that lovely tingling open feeling in liver 3, just see if you can access that. And then what we're going to do is just tap along the inside of the legs and see if you can spread that lovely feeling of calm flexibility up the channel. We're right in the middle of the inside of the legs, up the inside of the legs. Yeah, okay. Just connecting with that feeling of liver 3 going up the inside of the legs. That's it. And then we can open up the gallbladder channel, which is the paired channel which runs from the sides of the body down this way. And 3 times. Camera decides to go out of focus. Here we are. Hello. There we go. Down. There we go. And we go down. Oh. Brushing off. Very good. Shaking out. Now, if we've spread it out nicely, you should feel kind of like a really nice, nourished sort of feeling in the legs now. Woo, okay, feel that. That should feel nicely open. It worked for me. I've got this much more open feeling here. It's a middle burner here. So that combination of the liver and the stomach, really good for any anxiety, frustration, anger, anything like that. Okay, well done everyone, brilliant, okay. Starting to feel a lot more grounded, I can tell you. So now it's time really to address that upper burner. The upper burner's streaking ahead at the moment, and I'm really, obviously it's a very sad thing. If you've got sadness, perhaps you're grieving or you're just sad that you can't go out, you can't see people. In Chinese medicine, the lungs are associated with that, to do with the borders of the body. So keeping those nice and energized will help us with any feelings of sadness that we have, okay? So let's see if we can work on that. And I think a good place to start is using this medical Qigong exercise for the lungs, which is this one where we just literally lift our arms up and drop them back, okay? Now, this doesn't look like much, but it's all to do with how we direct our energy internally. So get those thumbs just slightly out and become aware when your arm goes back of this movement, which opens up the lung channel and it opens up the whole lungs. Okay. So now checking in with the internal breath connections. The lower burner is supposed to anchor the breath. It grasps the breath from the lungs. So the way we can do that, activate that, is to bring our attention down into the lower burner. So now my mind's attention is going down to here. And what you imagine now, what we can imagine is we can imagine that as we open this up and as we breathe in, the air from all around us is coming in, is going down through, filling up the lungs and going down and anchoring in the lower burner. Okay, so let's just do that for a little while, opening up the lungs, keep the shoulders open as the arms go back, that's it, keep the head suspended. Just see if you can feel that breath going down through the lungs and into the dantian, down into here. Okay, that's very good. Now, if you want to supercharge it a bit more, we can open up kidney 1 in the feet, bring our attention down into the feet, and that even anchors it more because now we're locking in with that earth's energy, with the yin energy from the earth, nourishing the lower burner, which anchors the breath. So this is why we start off with the lower burner. We have to get that strong first, otherwise we end up with this being overtaken by, emotional stuff, just brings more stress into the body. By anchoring it down and anchoring it down through the kidney channel, we strengthen this up. It allows us to naturally breathe in and keep calm and experience these emotions like sorrow and things like that without it becoming overwhelming to the nervous system, okay? So we just sit with it, keep that kidney 1 open, and get that lung connection open. The thumbs go out, relaxing the breath down into the dantian and connecting with kidney 1. Okay, now if you are feeling any sadness and things like that, if you can hold this type of image when you're doing your exercises, it's not going to take the sadness away, but it's going to make it a natural, manageable thing and not something that's going to overwhelm you, because you're going to be connected up through the lower burner and into the upper burner. Can you feel that? Okay, and the positive emotion of the lungs is positivity. It's that feeling of positivity, of being in our bodies and being able to be positive about things. So as we do that, we can imagine that coming in with the breath, a feeling of positivity. Okay, very good. Okay, excellent. So now let's do a little bit, give that lung channel a little bit of extra help by doing some doing on the channel, okay? Which is always a really good idea. Lung 1 is around here. In fact, it's just right here, just below this front of this crease here. That's where the lung channel comes out from inside the body and it runs down towards the thumb. So let's give it a bit of a tap here, opening up the front of the chest. Okay, and we're working down here, down the lung channel towards the thumb. Just nice bit of tapping, opening up. Oh, the sun's come out, glistening on the snow outside. It looks lovely here in Norwich. Okay, and now we're going to switch around and we're going to go large intestine channel, which is the pear channel, goes up here. Into here. Okay, here we go. And then up the other way. Very good. Okay. Starting to get some positivity into the lungs. Yep, definitely. Okay, good. So the other side. All around here is where the lung channel merges with the body. And it goes down here. And this way. We're going down towards the thumb. This is the lung channel. And up the large intestine channel. Okay, very good. Okay, brushing off. Okay, and now we can do a nice stretch for the lungs. That's this one, breathing in. And breathe out. Get those thumbs right up, 45 degrees, opening them up. Very good. Okay, breathing in, breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Excellent. And now here's a Mako stretch. It's a Japanese Shiatsu stretch for the lungs. Again, you'll see the theme. The theme is opening up this way, and this exercise is basically an extension of that by linking our thumbs together. So you link your thumbs like this, together at the back here, and breathe in. Again, the alignment, breathing out, going forward. Pointing the first finger up towards the ceiling. Coming out of the stretch, breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. And breathing out. Very good, and then coming back up. Okay, and you can feel that opening up this whole area here. Okay, let's check in again, standing. Just check those heaters again. And you notice the upper heater now feels much more expanded, feels warmer and much more open like this. And that's really, really important for processing any of the emotions in the upper heater. Okay, very good. So let's just do a pericardium stretch and then we'll get on to doing the yang channels to finish up. So breathing in, breathe out. And this is just to open up any congestion in the pericardial channel that runs through the top of the chest here. Breathing in again, breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Okay, very good. Shaking out. And it's time to work the yang channels. We've just got 10 minutes left. It's always important to clear the yang channels out. The yang channels run from the head and they run basically down the body. We've done quite a lot of them. We've done the gallbladder channel, the stomach channel, the large intestine channel. So the arms and legs are pretty well sorted. So let's just make sure we get the head and the neck nice and relaxed. Okay, liver 3. Okay, connects with the liver and the gallbladder channels in the head. The liver channel runs internally up into the eyes. If you get anything like itchy, dry eyes, that's related to the liver channel in Chinese medicine. And headaches right on the top of the head, kind of tired headaches right on the top of the head are also associated with the liver. And headaches on the side, migraines, headaches that go right into the eyes, headaches that come from the back of the head here and go into the sides and right through into the eyes. Sometimes you get jaw tension. That's often to do with liver stagnation and liver energy rising up too much into the top of the body. So it's quite a good idea for us to do that. Calm everything down, open the channels, and then if we can connect them right down to liver 3 down our foot, we'll be totally sorted. So let's grab our hands together. Let's see if we can visualize something. Let's place our hands over our eyes. And let's see if we can just relax and imagine that connection all the way down through our body, down to our feet, down to liver 3 from the eyes. And there's a pretty good chance with all this doing that you're going to be able to feel a connection deep through your body, right the way through your hips, right down into the liver 3 on the foot. And if you can feel somewhat of a connection there, that's basically incredibly awesome, because what you're feeling there is you're feeling the liver channel all the way through the body from the head right down to the feet. And now you can understand that why in Shiatsu we often use points on the feet to treat the head, because basically we get energy movement down from the head into the feet, basically down, just like we do in these exercises. It's just you're doing it for yourself here. Okay, so we've got the eyes. Now we're going to work the gallbladder channel using the palm, and I'm just pressing along the sides of my head here. Right here, the points run here, they run right into the outside of the eyes. The liver channel is more internal, but the gallbladder channel runs on the outside of the head. And we'll get some points on the gallbladder channel further on in this 10-week series. Okay, excellent. Okay, so now let's just do a bit of work on the bladder channel, just tapping. That's another important yang channel in the head. Just tapping along the top of the head here. Remember this point here, we did this in the water element 10-week sequence. This is bladder 1. I'm just going to work that. Okay, very good. Now another really important joint in the body is the jaw. If you get teeth grinding and jaw tension, very commonly associated with either the stomach channel or the gallbladder and liver channels in Chinese medicine. So we often treat the liver for teeth grinding and jaw tension. Okay, so we do it ourselves by just working around here, working around the jaw, keeping the jaw open and flexible. I'm going to work around here as well, around the sinuses to connect up. Got stomach 3 here. We'll be finding out all about the stomach points later on. We get to the earth element, which will come in the summer. It'll be after the wood element in the summer, after the fire element, and after the wood it goes wood, fire, and then earth. So we've got a little way to go. Yeah. Okay, good. Now let's just work this. Just work here, particularly for those of you who've got a little bit of anxiety and worry, because this is where the vagal nerve runs, and also the stomach channel in Chinese medicine runs right down the front of the SCM muscle. So let's just having relaxed the jaw, let's just relax this muscle here. I'm just pinching in here with my forefinger and just squeezing it. You can also press in with the fingertips. The idea is to just relax. If you've got any tension down here, maybe right up into this part here, it could be the stomach channel that's blocking that front part of your neck. Okay, good. So now let's use the heels of the hand, squeeze in around the bladder channel. Remember this one? Remember this bladder 10, celestial pillar? Really good one to work. And this one around here, this is where the gallbladder and the liver channels run. So we're just working those. Very good. Okay, excellent. So now we're going to tap here around the gallbladder. Okay, so all the channels kind of go here, down here. It's a really good idea to do all this to release this. The only bit we haven't done now, having done all this, is down the back. So let's finish up by doing down the back. And we do as best we can, unless you've got a friend or relation in your bubble who can help you, who's maybe in the room with you, exercising with you, in which case you can work using tapping down the spine. If you're like me and you're on your own, we have to do it ourselves. So I'm going to go as low as I can here with my fingertips. Down the bladder channel here. Okay, and then I'm going to go up as high as I can, see if I can reach up as high as I can. And then work down onto the sacrum. It's a test of how, it's a bit of a test to see how far you can reach down and reach up. Okay, well done, brilliant. Look at that, the time has flown past, hasn't it, today? So let's just brush off as much as we can down the back, down the yang channels, brushing off down the yang channels, down the yang channels, and then shaking out. Let's do one last shake. Okay, I can still feel my liver 3 zinging away. I think I must have really worked that. So let's just see if we can tune into that liver 3 point internally, okay? And just get a real lovely sense of that stream, that gushing stream of liver energy coming up, nourishing our body and allowing us to keep as fluid and flexible as we can. Okay, it's time to check in and see whether, see what we feel like. So we're just going to scan through our body again. And as we go, just check in with those heaters as you go through. So let's go through the head and neck, see if that feels any different. Feel your eyes, jaw, and throat. Then just check in with the upper heater, shoulders and arms. And just checking in with the middle heater and the lower heater. And then we're going down the legs. And can you still feel that liver 3 wiggling your toes? Still feel that liver 3 nourishing the whole of our body. Okay, thank you so much. There we go. We've just got half a minute left just to check in and see how you're feeling now. So let's see if I can find the how are you feeling now poll. How do you feel now? Okay, so let's just see how we're doing as a group. Are you feeling generally more balanced than you were an hour ago? About the same, or maybe you've had a reaction where you're feeling a little bit kind of woohoo, something's happening. And if that's happened to you, and I can see already that that's happened to a couple of us in the group, That's going to be fine. Probably what you want to do is just take it easy for a little while. Drink plenty of water. And if you've got any concerns about anything that's been released, then please get in touch with the Shiatsu Center. We can arrange for a one-to-one session. Okay, and look at it, we're just over 90%. That's really great. Thank you so much. Really impressed by that general improvement in the breathing pattern of the group. That is a definite trait. It's definitely something that's changed us by doing these exercises. And that's a really wonderful thing. It's going to be a great resource going through the rest of the year. Thank you very much, Diane. I can see you're really busy on the chat.
Somebody asking about the Peter Dedman book, which I think I've answered. Helen wants more points for directing blood to the lower limbs. I'll mail you separately, Helen. We haven't really got time. But also a whole bunch of people want a session that you did a while back on sleeping. And I don't know how we can easily find it without looking at all the old recordings. That's what I'm wondering.
Well, why don't we do it next time?
That would be an easier solution, I think.
Because that's one of the things we haven't asked recently. We haven't asked how your sleep is. I thought we'd find out today about the breathing, and that was really awesome. But next time I'm on what we'll do is we'll check in with you, see how you're sleeping, and then we can do a whole
I think that would be great, because there are tons of them that are asking for it. Fabulous.
Yeah, okay, that's a really good idea. The good news is I'll see you in 2 weeks. The even better news is you won't have to put up with me next week, because I'm having a week's holiday. I usually take the February half-term week off, and I'm going to try and do that. Just need to recharge. And some other members of the team, I think
Kat are going to do it. Yeah,
Basti or someone Pat and Basti are going to do it. So you have a really good. I'm sure you'll have an absolutely wonderful time next week. And I'll see you in 2 weeks, and we'll do a special sleep thing. Okay, so. Thank you very much for tuning in. And I'll just put thank you for that. I'm going to enjoy having a week's rest. And I'll just put a heart in the chat to everyone. I think everyone's doing awesome. And really enjoy the next week. And I'll see you in 2 weeks' time.
Lovely to see everybody.
Thank you, Diana, for the chat. And
great.
It's lovely to see everyone. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
over 100 people on. That's
Bye,
really
everyone.
Amazing. Okay, have a great week.
Yes, it's too sunny for me to
sunny, snowy day.
Just a shadow. Bye, everyone.
Okay, bye-bye.